Hey, it's Jordan. Someone asked recently, how do we tell the difference between paranoia and trusting our gut? So let's unpack this idea a little bit. Start with trusting our gut. Start with trust. Trust is a reliable knowing. You can trust that the sun will rise tomorrow. You can trust that you're going to die someday. There's certain things that you can trust, that you know reliably, based on your experience, that it's something you can count on happening. And when we talk about trust in relationships, which ultimately trusting your gut is a form of relationship, it's you to yourself. But when you look at relationships, the ones that you trust, the trust is never broken. And if that trust is broken, there's some repairs that need to happen, and it's kind of like a sheet of glass where when you break some glass, yeah, you can put it together, but you're still going to see the cracks, and there's still always going to be a reminder of that broken trust. So the relationship with yourself needs to be based on something reliable. This is ultimately what I teach when I talk about the soul. You need to develop a relationship to your soul that you can trust. And so to do that, we can do the same thing with our gut. We develop this relationship with our gut. And the way I see it, simply put, there are three energy centers. We have our mind, our heart, and our gut. This is, you can say, there's 7, there's 22, there's a bunch of different ways of looking at it, but simply put, and this is the Taoist belief, there are 3 energy centers, the 3 gifts. And the root of all the alchemical change really is your gut. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But developing this trust with your gut, start with something simple and easy, something that is not of dire consequences. Trust your gut to ask what you need to wear today. What would be the best outfit for my day? And really, like I said, you got to sit with your gut. And how do you do that? You can take your hands and just place them over your stomach and spend 5 or 10 minutes sending awareness through your hands, through your mind, into your gut, into your navel. You can watch it move. You can feel what energies are moving in there. You can tap into any downloads that your gut might want to send you. But really, and even send it light and watch it glow in your mind's eye. Really just light it up. And you can do this simply with your mind. If you bring your awareness to the bottom of your tongue right now, you'll start salivating. And it's that simple. Your body reacts to where you send the awareness. So send the awareness to your gut and sit with it. And you might get some feelings that you may have repressed. You might have things come up that you weren't expecting. Like I said, the gut is really the root of the alchemical change. If you think of when you throw food down your tube in your mouth, it sits in your gut and it gets transformed into energy that you can use. It gets broken down and then it gets transformed into waste. And so all that is happening in your gut. You're sending some, like the alchemical, sending lead down into your gut, and it turns it into gold that you can use, and then it needs to push it out of that system as well. So there's a lot of energy, a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings that can get stuck in your gut. And another thing I like to do, especially after my breath work, I will massage my gut, that abdomen area, all that, so as you can just get in there and start like literally using your hands to massage and open up that area. And this can be very helpful if you are suffering from depression. Our gut tends to tighten up real tight to protect us. And so when we send it that attention and massage it and open up that fascia, all that energy can start moving. We can breathe deeper. This can help us trust our gut more. And just that awareness, and like I said, starting small with trusting your gut for what should I wear today. Then you can ask your gut and see what comes up. Ask your gut, what should I eat? Maybe when you go, next time you go grocery shopping, you can put your hands over a certain food item that you might want, or pick it up. You can hold it and then ask your gut, is this what you want? Do you want this inside of you? Is this energy that you can use? And you'll get another answer. And then you build this trust over time, and it becomes more reliable. And then as you build that trust, you can start moving into deeper questions, deeper contemplations that have more consequence. Like maybe about a job or a living situation, a relationship, any of these big life altering decisions that might come up. Ask your gut, and your gut will know. There's a reason why trust your gut is a saying in the vernacular of our language. It's part of our intuition. We know on, maybe it's a subconscious level, but we know on some level that we can trust our gut, and our gut knows things. And the gut, that navel, that it was your first cells. That was your origin point. I know in certain practices that they call it the immortal self, or some kind of reference to this is the part of you that life began. Like this is where consciousness took hold in your body. And so there's a memory there of your very beginning, the first cells ever formed in that area. So this is like your origin point. It was your first mouth. It's weird to think about. That was your old mouth. You used to eat directly into that area. And you can still think about eating and feeding that area. So there's a lot of deep primordial wisdom and knowing in your animal body that you can connect back to your gut. And then you can move up into the heart and the head, and you get different downloads, different frequencies from each. But sticking with the gut and trusting that, it's really, what does your gut have to say about whatever you need information on, and you can develop this relationship. And so through that development, then you can, like I said, work on more complicated questions. And then to relate it to how is this different than paranoia? I mean, paranoia is ultimately some type of worry, right? And worrying never gets you anywhere. Yes, you should be aware of certain consequences. I think that's fine. And sometimes that's even motivating if you run through scenarios that are more fear-based. And what would happen if I did this? What is the worst case scenario? And kind of play that through your mind and get okay with whatever comes up. Maybe it's a situation you're not comfortable with. Maybe it's a situation you need to become comfortable with. Like, you don't really have to judge the outside world as much as you have to judge how you're viewing it. What's your attitude towards that thing? Because the worst thing could happen to an enlightened being, and they'll turn it into the best thing, because it really has no consequence to their inner state. Your inner state is independent of whatever is going on, whatever you're paranoid about, even the worst things. So have an awareness of what could happen, and maybe use that as your motivation to change, to make a change. A lot of times we need the pain teacher to come in and smack us around and get us moving in the direction we know we should be going in, or behave in a different way, adopt a different lifestyle. But excessively worrying about something that's might not even happen, how is that helpful to you? How is that helpful to anybody? You can spend your whole life worrying about something, never happens, never was going to happen, and instead of enjoying your moment, enjoying what's right here in front of you, you're just worried about something that doesn't even happen. How is that helpful? How is that? It's not helping you. It's not helping your neighbor. It's not helping your friends. Like, sure, you can be aware that something bad might happen, then play that scenario out and get okay with what happens. Like, I don't know, I have to speak to you individually to know what you're referring to. But whatever it is, you could practice even going through and living that scenario. Like, Stoics, they used to, like, they have all this money, all this land and cattle, livestock. They had everything they could need materially. For a week out of the year, they would sleep on the ground, sleep on the dirt, and eat beans, just to be like, all right, what would happen if I lose all my money? How would I react? What would it look like? And then they practice that. They literally, okay, this is what it would happen. This is what it would look like. I would sleep on the ground, sleep on the dirt floor, and eat some beans. And then they realize, oh, that's really not that bad. I can survive that. I can still live my life. Like, same thing with whatever the scenario is. You can practice in your mind, okay, what would this look like? And then you could even physically do it. Physically live out your paranoia, as wild as that seems. And you will realize we are so adaptable. We are so much more capable than we give ourselves credit for. And so to flip that paranoia, I don't know if you've ever heard the term pronoia. Instead of being afraid that everything is going to come collapsing down on you and full of worry, adopt the attitude that everything is rigged in your favor. Everything is here for your enlightenment, for your self-realization, for your alchemical transformation to take place. It's all set up, and this is the truth that I know. No matter how dire or worried or whatever, overwhelmed I may feel, I know that I set this all up for myself to grow out of. And then I can offer that perspective and lessons to other people, which is why I started this channel in the first place. This is my giving back to myself. So There is a big difference between paranoia and trusting your gut. And there's a big difference between paranoia and pronoia. And you can ride that wave whenever you want. You can adopt that attitude right now, that everything is rigged in your favor, and you're going to learn through these challenges. You're going to learn through these things that you don't want to face. You actually set that up for yourself so you can grow. I hope that broke down some of those ideas and concepts for you in a way that helps. Thank you for your question. If you have any others, please leave them below, and I'll talk to you soon. Love you. Bye.